Now, it never ceases to amaze me that that people can live for so many years, and in Barrymore's case, 5 decades, and yet learn absolutely nothing, gain no wisdom at all. She's correct about one thing, which is that marriage is not a sanctimonious thing, but she's only correct because she's semi-literal.
Drew Barrymore's latest woke stance just got completely dismantled by Matt Walsh, and her PR team is likely in crisis mode. The Daily Wire personality didn't just respond. He launched an all-out verbal assault that's sure to leave you stunned. So, what sparked this brutal takedown? Let's just say it's a fiery confrontation you won't want to miss. Matt Walsh went all in, and Hollywood's sweetheart is about to feel the heat in a big way.
You have to actively participate in the process of obtaining that wisdom. If you don't, then you run the risk of becoming like Drew Barrymore, pushing 50, but with all the insight of a 19-year-old sorority.
Matt Walsh, known for his straightforward commentary and sharp insights, took a moment to respond thoughtfully to Drew Barrymore's recent stance. Instead of simply poking fun, he offered a well-articulated critique, encouraging a deeper conversation about her approach. His remarks aimed to challenge her views while promoting a more thoughtful perspective. Walsh's response sheds light on the importance of depth and genuine understanding, urging figures like Drew to reflect on the broader impact of their words and actions.
Remember this night just being so content, and I was at your parents' lake house, and I remember hearing all their voices upstairs, and I was just by myself, and I was going to sleep, and I was like, yeah, this is what safety and contentedness feels before you're going to sleep. And I will never forget that night. And I love your parents, and I really love you, and I celebrate you. And when you say 20 years, sometimes it's the blink of an eye.
Drew Barrymore often fondly looks back on her brief marriage to Tom Green, despite it lasting less than a year. But who needs long-term commitment when emotional vibes and a well-crafted PR narrative can carry you, right? She presents the breakup as a personal growth moment, overlooking the true responsibilities of marriage. It's classic Hollywood thinking: create drama, glorify the chaos, and spin it as empowerment. If marriage is just a chapter in her story, it's a short one, yet she's turning it into a feel-good narrative.
Counts a story of feeling safe and content when she was married to Tom Green, and yet she divorced him mere months after this cherished memory took place. Her marriage to Tom Green lasted from 2001 all the way to the year 2002.
In his sharp critique, Matt Walsh points out that age doesn't automatically bring wisdom. In Drew's case, it's clear that life's lessons are slipping past her while she remains stuck in the superficial world of celebrity-driven woke culture.
It ceases to amaze me that people can live for so many years, and in Barrymore's case, 5 decades, and yet learn absolutely nothing, gain no wisdom at all. Because wisdom, as we can see, is not automatically accrued with age. It is offered. Opportunities are presented to obtain it, but you have to actively participate in the process of obtaining that wisdom.
The troubling part is that Drew isn't just participating in the woke culture, she's thriving in it, holding on to virtue, signaling like a security blanket. Rather than using her platform for meaningful change, she's turned it into an endless competition for the most outrageous woke statement. It's as if Hollywood's obsession with youth has trapped her in a never-ending adolescence, where critical thought is replaced by catchy buzzwords and drama. Sadly, it's working. Hollywood fans lap it up, applauding her every shallow remark, while the real world sees through the facade. Drew may have outgrown pigtails, but her childish antics persist.
Well, she divorced the guy, didn't speak to him at all for 15 years apparently, then invited him onto her talk show to have an emotional heart-to-heart in front of a television audience, which is bizarre behavior to say the least.
Matt Walsh isn't holding back, calling out Drew Barrymore for bringing her ex-husband Tom Green onto her show after 16 years of silence. Was there really no simpler, more genuine way to reconnect? Of course not. Where's the drama in that? Instead, we get fake tears, forced emotions, and a clear ratings grab. Spoiler alert, it backfired worse than one of her early 2000s rom-coms. Drew's just another Hollywood star chasing attention, and it's hard to watch.
Continues in that conversation to profess her love and admiration for the man, and claims that she's always loved and celebrated and admired him, the man that she divorced after 12 months, and proceeded to cut out of her life completely for the next 2 decades. If that's how she treats people that she loves and admires, one would hate to imagine how she treats people that she actually doesn't like.
Matt Walsh hits the mark, pointing out that if Drew Barrymore can publicly drag her ex-husband, the man she once vowed to love, what's stopping her from doing the same to anyone else she disagrees with? It's a chilling thought. If love can be discarded for a ratings boost, what happens when the cameras are off? The woke crowd misses the point, confusing calculated theatrics with real emotion. It's all about virtue signaling and avoiding responsibility for the chaos they create. But as long as it's trending, who cares? Spoiler alert, it only gets worse from here.
Barrymore declares that after 3 failed marriages, she is, like, totally liberated. Here's the Daily Wire. Quote, actress Drew Barrymore said she's not embarrassed about being divorced 3 times. Instead, she feels liberated. Quote, I had so much shame around divorce, and for some reason, something happened, and I said, I'm no longer willing to feel this way. And it just lifted for me.
Drew Barrymore's latest claim that her divorce was a form of liberation is downright ridiculous. Apparently, breaking free means giving up on 3 marriages. Matt Walsh completely tears into her, highlighting the obvious hypocrisy. Drew's supposed growth is just a cycle of emotional resets. If divorce really leads to enlightenment, we'd all be jumping on board. But who needs commitment when you can keep using the finding myself excuse? Welcome to the strange realm of woke logic, where accountability takes a back seat.
Osmond, unsurprisingly, agreed, quote, talk show guest and famed singer Marie Osmond agreed that divorce could be positive. She said that while she thinks married couples should be doing everything possible to make a marriage work, she also stressed that both parties should do the work. Quote, I also believe that there are some divorces made in heaven. In my situation, I divorced at 50, and I had 8 children that I needed to support, take care of. I was basically the bread.
Misery loves company. And now, Marie Osmond is standing alongside Drew Barrymore, endorsing the laughable idea that divorce equals liberation. Who better to back this up than Osmond, with her own 2 failed marriages? It's like a support group for serial divorcees, celebrating the freedom of avoiding commitment. But is it truly liberation, or just a way to dodge responsibility for the chaos they've caused? Matt Walsh absolutely rips into them, and it's a takedown you won't want to miss.
People who make a point of claiming that they aren't ashamed of a certain thing will almost always go on to talk about that thing in a way that reveals that they are, in fact, deeply ashamed of it. I mean, there is nobody more ashamed of divorce than the person who goes around blowing a trumpet and declaring that they're not ashamed of divorce.
Matt Walsh hit the nail on the head. People who loudly proclaim they're unashamed of their divorce are often masking deep insecurities. If you were truly at peace with your decisions, would you feel the need to broadcast it to the world? This overcompensation often signals guilt and regret. Drew Barrymore exemplifies this, as divorce itself isn't shameful, but turning it into a point of pride is misleading. And the best part? Walsh isn't stopping there.
Should not be afraid to leave these men. We are not stuck with these people. Marriage is not a sanctimonious thing. It is paperwork. It's something, it's a commitment you make to someone. But if you feel like you're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Mia Khalifa should brace herself because she's next on his savage hit list. You won't believe what he's about to say. Mia Khalifa, the former adult star turned relationship guru, is now offering marriage advice. Despite her less than stellar history with relationships, she even compared herself to Tom Brady, boasting about having 3 rings from 3 different men. Apparently, her revolving door of engagements qualifies her for a TED Talk. Matt Walsh wasn't having it, tearing apart her delusional comparison with no mercy. Spoiler alert, his response wasn't pretty and left her argument in tatters.
Apparently doesn't understand that Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl rings because he was victorious in 7 Super Bowls. He won a lot. That's why he has the rings. But Maya is a loser, a failure. She keeps failing at marriage, and which makes her, if anything, the anti-Tom Brady of the marriage game. In fact,
Matt Walsh's harsh criticism, truthful insight, or just petty shade?
Even that gives her too much credit. You know, because, I mean, Tom Brady, that would be like, Tom Brady did make it to, it's like if he lost a bunch of Super Bowls or something. But no, she's more of an NFL washout, a draft bust. She's the Jamarcus Russell of marriage. She's the Johnny Manziel of matrimony.
Matt Walsh doesn't hold back, and he's got a point. Who would seriously take marriage advice from Mia Khalifa or Drew Barrymore? These two have become poster children for turning personal failures into woke empowerment. They've mastered the art of spinning their mistakes into moral superiority, leaving the rest of us stunned. If there's any advice to take from them, it's definitely what not to do. And if you think Matt was harsh, brace yourself. He's just warming up.
Correct about one thing, which is that marriage is not a sanctimonious thing, but she's only correct because she's semi-literate, so this was accidental. Marriage is, on the other hand, a sacred thing. It's a covenant.
Marriage used to be a sacred commitment, but now it's treated like a lease you cancel when things go wrong. Matt Walsh is calling out this disturbing trend where relationships are rebranded as self-discovery and vows are tossed aside like an old Netflix subscription. Forget about commitment, effort, and maturity. Today, it's all about celebrating failures with divorce parties and congratulatory cake toppers. If this is the future of marriage, we might as well treat weddings as just another fleeting milestone. And Walsh? He's about to deliver his next brutal takedown.
Biggest lie that Drew Barrymore tells, and that many divorced people tell, is that the divorce was something that just happened. They didn't choose it. They didn't walk into it knowingly, willingly, with their eyes open. They say instead that the situation wasn't functioning optimally, like they're describing a malfunctioning smartphone.
Drew Barrymore wants to paint divorce as some unavoidable accident, like tripping over a curb. But the truth is, it's the result of a series of bad choices from both partners. Divorce isn't destiny. It's a slow-building disaster, with each person contributing their own mistakes. Drew can talk about liberation all she wants, but she conveniently overlooks the role personal accountability plays in saving a marriage. Why take responsibility when you can just spin it into a narrative of empowerment instead? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content.